So you want more new patients. Why my imagination or my thoughts around this is that you probably don't want any new patient, right? You want your ideal new patients. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the ideal patients that's right for you and your practice. Let's just get right to it. Hey there, it's Lawrence Tam here from lawrencetam.com. Today's video, we're going to talk about how to get your most ideal clients in your practice. Before we get there, if you're interested in learning how to build your practice to a profitable level and have more freedom in your life, go check out lawrencetam.com or go join nitro.com, because that's where we help and scale practitioners and chiropractors just like you to help them grow in towards profit and more freedom. So here's what we're gonna be talking about in today's video. I'm excited about this because we have so many people who are always thinking about getting new clients. I speak to a lot of chiropractors from all around the world, and I would say the number one thing that everybody thinks they need to do is to grow their new clients, or they need to figure out how to get more new clients. And to an extent that every business, no matter what business you're in, requires you to have more new customers coming through, because that's how you sustain that. However, there's a distinction between, there's two different types of business, right? There's product-based businesses where you do require a lot of people buying you need more new customers because they need to buy off one-off products and they only come once or twice. And it's not usually repeated. However, in the service-based industry where they are coming in, that you're actually going to rely on more on the continuous service from that one customer. So you have a choice in chiropractic, because in chiropractic, I see that there's a lot of practices who rely heavily on new clients all the time, and in order for them to survive. And then there's practices that are relying on a very slow, steady rate of new patients, and they do really, really, really well. So the choice is up to you on how you want to do that. I know what I prefer, simply because the type of practice that I want when I built it, because I didn't want the stress of continuing always trying to market. In fact, I didn't actually do any marketing whatsoever. So what we want to do is, I would prefer is that practices build a more service-based business where they continue to rely on patients coming through, because they actually get the care and the recommendations of what you're trying to provide. So how do you do that? But how do you actually get more ideal clients through your marketing? I think it's essential that we talk about marketing. It's essential that we need to get new customers into our practices all the time, because, let's face it, patients do get better, and we do a great job when you provide results. So they're going to, need less and less care. However, what you want to do is distinguish about getting new clients and have more specific intention about the types of clients you're actually getting, because it's no good at just getting any new patients. What you want to do is get the ideal clients, because your ideal clients are the ones that are going to really are pre-motivated, pre-interested, and pre-qualified in terms of when they come in. They're way easier, to my opinion, to in terms of in the practices to handle, because they already know what you have to offer, they already know what you can bring to the table, and they already are interested in what you're doing, rather than dealing with your frustrations about clients who are tire kickers, who waste your time, and also who want just miracle cure that fix me today type of attitude. So how do we do that, though? I think you need to be intentional about it. So we can either focus on the strategy, which is I see a lot of chiropractors spend a lot of time, money, and energy onto strategy, getting more clients or new patients, or we spent some time just doing one step before that, is to be intentional about what the type of clients that you actually want. So in this video, I'm not going to go right directly into the marketing side of things, but I want to understand that in terms of marketing, you need to be figuring out exactly how do you approach it, because how you approach this will dictate the marketing strategy that you're going to use, even if you use social media marketing or Facebook marketing and so on and so forth. So here is my thoughts around picking your ideal clients. Number one, so what you need to do is that you have to understand what I just talked about, the ideal new patients, right, that you actually want to see usually come in three forms. Number one is that they usually are pre-interested in what you do. They're also pre-motivated, right, in what you have to offer, and they're also, more importantly, they're going to be pre-qualified. But how do you do that? How do you ensure that you're going to be able to be in a position to be able to help them go through those 3 processes before they actually come into your practice? Well, it's actually quite simple, but simple in concept, but harder to execute. So let me talk you through each one of those things, right? In order for someone to be pre-interested, sorry about my terrible handwriting, but I hope that you're watching this and listening so you can actually be clear on this. In order for someone to be pre-interested, right, they actually have to go through a process of actually knowing what you are actually offering, right? So what that means is this, is that in order for you to be, they have to be pre-interested, you actually have to be in a position to specifically know their particular needs, right? Let me just draw this out here, right? You're gonna have to know exactly what they want. So that is a specific target you're going after. And what that means is that you have to be in their shoes. What I mean by that is that you have to know their needs and their problems, right? Because they have to know that you know what their needs and problems are. Because if you don't, if you can't verbalize that, if you can't communicate that to the client or the prospect, their actual needs and problems from their perspective, not yours as a chiropractor, then there's no way they're going to be interested in what you have to offer. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But so that means that you have to get inside their nightmares. You have to get inside their brain and understand where their problems actually are, where the real problems in their words and in their thought process, not yours. Because as chiropractors, we're biased. We already have the problem and we already have the solution in our brain, but we have to think from a perspective of someone who doesn't understand the solution, that there is a solution yet. They just are understanding they need to be heard, that they can know that you know that how they're feeling. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. The second thing is that, how do you get someone who's more pre-motivated? Well, how you get someone more pre-motivated is that you actually have to understand that they have to go through this process of what I described in our last video in episode 14, which is using videos, right? Why do we want to use videos? Well, in videos, what that I showed you like 2 frameworks you can use, because in videos, what that does is that they get to know you, trust you, and like you, which means that you become this person who is, they feel like they can actually, they're motivated that you understand that you can, they're motivated because you can provide the results. And in order for you to provide the results, they have to feel that they have to know you and trust you and like you first. So this is why the importance of having some content on your website or content on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere where they're going to search for you, because they're going to need to know through videos or through written blogs or through the content you're providing to the community or through a live presentation that you know what you're talking about, you understand me, plus you are actually able to deliver the results to my problem and to my needs. That's going to motivate someone, right, to actually take action to come to you. But if they don't believe that they heard you, which is pre-interested, they don't believe that you actually have the results, which is being pre-motivated, there's no way they're going to come to you, right? And so the third element here is to be pre-qualified. Pre-qualified is actually more for me as the practitioner, because for me as a practitioner, I want to know that I'm going to work with clients that I want to work with. And so I'm being very, very clear on exactly the type of clients that I want. And so how you kind of dive into that is through this process of actually understanding that there's going to be clients that are fit in a certain ideal profile. And the profile you kind of want to think about is your target audience. And I know some of you have actually gone through this process, but it's really understanding. It's like, of course, there's going to be a geographic location. If I'm in Sydney and they are in Perth, that's not my most ideal client as a chiropractor because they can't come to me. Okay, so there's a geographical sort of a pre-qualification. The second, of course, is what most people talk about, is the demographic, right? So which means it's usually sex or age or, what kind of job they have, what kind of car they drive, what kind of income they have. So that's demographic. Most chiropractors are usually say a 30-year-old to 45-year-old female with kids or 2 young kids. That's maybe their ideal profile, but that only gives us another element. The third element, which I think most people forget, which is the most important in my mind, is the psychographic. Right? The psychographic of an ideal client is looking at their psychology. What are they thinking about? Because someone who's a 30 to 35-year-old female who have 2 kids can have 2 different profiles. One profile could have a psychographic that they actually eat McDonald's, right? Who have an unhealthy lifestyle, and they don't really care about health, right? Where versus someone who lives a healthy lifestyle, who buys organic foods, who possibly goes to yoga, and will do anything for and buying proper foods for their kids. That's a totally different psychological profile. And so why is that important? Well, that important because I know one is going to actually be interested or qualified, and also be pre-motivated to be a chiropractic client. Whereas someone who doesn't care about their health, who still fits in that demographic of a 30 to 35-year-old female, is not my most ideal client. So why is that important to you? Well, because if you're going to use something like Facebook marketing, you're going to want to make sure you target the right ideal clients, not just any client who lives within a 5 kilometer radius from your practice, right? Because that's how you end up getting tire kickers. You end up getting people who are just in it for the deal or the coupon you're actually providing, and you're only going to get those clients who are looking for an immediate fix. How you correct that is being very intentional in the first place of knowing who your ideal clients are to you, that are going to most beneficial to you, that you can help. The people that that they have a particular problem with, you actually know they can prove that you actually have results and that you can help them, and they fit in the profile that you're trying to go after. When you can find your ideal client, which is basically what we just done here, when you know that pre-ideal clients and going through these three elements, then all of a sudden now you actually have a much better ability to be able to get the ideal clients you want. And then what you do with this is that you go, all right, where did these people live? Where do they work? Which other companies are associated with them? Who already serve these clients, and how can I joint venture with them? How do I target them on Facebook? How do I target them on social media? What kind of content do they want to hear? What kind of content do they want to listen to? What kind of content do they want to show up for a workshop or a talk? See, understanding your ideal client and knowing that will help you build out your marketing strategy, rather than just thinking, oh, I just need to do Facebook marketing. That's a simple way, but it's not the most effective way to get more ideal clients, because we all know that if you focus on getting ideal clients into your practice, you're going to have much more robust practice. You're going to have a practice that will elevate to the next level, and you'll have a better foundation long term. If you think the long game, if you're thinking in practice that you're going to be in practice for only the next 1 or 2 years, then fine, go for the short term strategy and get as many new clients as you can. But if you're in this for the long game and actually want to build a career out of this, then I would suggest is take the long-term vision, thinking about what are my ideal clients are going to be, and how do I find them, and how do I attract them? How do I build a practice that will attract those ideal clients? If you don't figure that out, you're going to be chasing new clients over year on, year out, and you're never going to get to a position of having a strong practice. What you're going to end up having is a turnover practice, and you're going to be frustrated at why this number never goes up and why you're always constantly there still chasing new patients. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If you disagree or like what I said, comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. Like this, share this video with other people, but more importantly, right? My goal here is to educate you. My goal is to help you, kind of get you to the next step. If you're interested in letting me help you and guide you and coach you through that process, go to joinnitro.com. That's where I help most of my clients, help them exceed to the next level, create more profit in their practice, help their community, and more importantly, have more freedoms in their life. That's my goal, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, my friends, we'll talk to you soon.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Swan. I have been in practice for about 18 years now. Most of that time I've been on the Central Coast in Erina, just north of Sydney. I joined Nitro about 12 months ago because I wanted to be with a group of like-minded people that would help take my practice into the next phase, which was to build more of a community feel, and so far it's been fantastic. So for me, I think the biggest thing is that I've had lots of stuff going on in personal life in the last 12 months, and so it's allowed me to deal with that and still keep my practice running and quite successfully. I've been out of the practice quite a bit and haven't been as engaged, but having that support from Lawrence and the other members has been amazing. So it's just allowed me to look after those aspects of life while still having a practice to come back to, and it's just lowered the stress levels immensely, just knowing that I've had that support. Big picture, we often tell our patients that they've got to strive for that balance between their work life and their family and their home, and I paid a lot of lip service to it before. It was very much sort of nothing to see here and everything's fine, whereas it clearly wasn't. So I feel like I've been a lot more congruent from that perspective, that I'm actually embodying those values that I think are important, and I think it's important for patients to be able to see that as well. I just think it's the best expression of myself. I want to be able to live my values, and I felt like that. I was to a point, but it's just enabled me to express, more of myself, and hopefully, inspire other people to make some shifts as well. I think the reason I joined was because I was feeling a bit isolated in practice, and I wanted to be part of, a group or a tribe, if you like, of people that thought like me and that inspired me and pushed me a little bit. It started a course of enormous personal growth. I've had practice growth over time, and certainly it's helped my practice growth. But it was sort of the catalyst for that personal growth, and just coming into contact with different people, and it would be just like, something so small and insignificant that someone would say, and that one thing has led to an enormous shift in. I can't even tell you how big it's been and how many areas of my life it's affected. So